Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Because his family is more important than you, the fan man is not broadcasting tonight. That's why you have been blessed with Big Al and Troy on a Friday night.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Al pals. This is Big Al, and I don't know. I was just doing something stupid. Uh,
No, I thought
what
we
a-
needed an intro tonight.
Yeah, Fan Man couldn't come on. Family commitment, which is always more important than streaming. Sorry, it just is, and I don't think anybody would disagree. Uh, but Troy and I last night made a decision. If the Fan Man something happens, we'll go on talk. About whatever. Of course, it's going to end up being Trek because, quite frankly, it's kind of popular right now. It's what a lot of people are talking about. That's what we like to talk about.
And
Yeah,
I'm sorry that I didn't bring it up sooner. I mean, waiting until not entirely last minute. I at least had enough foresight to bring it up last night, but I should have mentioned it a long time ago. We should make it a standing thing. Al, if the professor can't make his Tuesday night, if Fan Man can't make Friday night, we should just kind of jump in there because that's what the second stringers do.
Yeah. Well, I don't consider either of us a second stringer.
I like how you think.
We are all
about this
on our own various strings. We are whatever string we choose to be.
We at least got to keep the feet warm for the big guys.
Yeah, and sometimes a lot of people want a little bit of entertainment on a Friday night. They're not doing anything, and somehow, get a little entertainment.
And we got 9 people that decided to come in and join us that wanted to hang out with us tonight. Of course, only 8 actually like us because only 8 people gave us the thumbs up. But
always good for me too. I like to do something quite frankly, Friday is a dead zone for TV.
You and I come from a very different perspective on Friday nights, because Friday nights it's like I'm not sure if I'm going to make it home in time to jump on the stream or to listen in, because Friday nights when we go out for drinks after work and get together with people and stuff, and you're like, well, there's nothing happening for me because there's nothing on TV.
Yeah, well, while everyone's still kind of getting the message, let me go down and see how everybody's doing. I want to say hi to Daniel Heron. Troy Pacelli somehow popped on the chat earlier. It seems like you and Daniel Heron had a nice little conversation.
Yeah.
Owen Lister, how you doing? Janice Zeal's in the house.
Janice Zeal has become like my super fan. I'm loving Janice Zeal because every time I post, that we're going to be on, going live, whatever, he always immediately shares that. And I'm this must be how Fan Man feels about me,
He's a big fan of all of us, and a very, very appreciated one at that. Hello, Casey Scott. Like I said, I'm running down saying, there's net. Yeah. Instagram. You did not know you had an Instagram account.
Honestly, we did not know until it was brought up in the stream here, and someone's like, "Don't you check your?" I don't know. I still don't know how to check messages. I guess I could get a message on Instagram. I haven't figured that part of it out yet. But I'm like, I didn't even know I had an Instagram account, let alone check messages there.
Yep. Say hello to Melissa Harris. DRY Designs Network, which of course is the artist formerly known as Dr. Isley.
I think he's still known as Dr. Isley. It's just
Age of Boomer. Did I say hi to Age of Boomer earlier? But if not, hi Age of Boomer again. Chrissy Kitty in the house. I think
Skipper Kenner. Hey, you did decide to join us.
Skipper Kenner, Mr. Matchstick has joined us. And I am caught up. I am so happy.
Skipper Kenner, are you joining us from the Firehouse of Love, or are you joining us from the Koi State? Let us know.
Yeah. What do you mean there's nothing on TV? Amazon Prime has GOG and Dr. Golden. Well, see, now I say TV, I mean
He means live
broadcast
TV. Yeah.
I mean the regular cable kind of channels and everything like that. You know, even when there's nothing on, usually Big Bang Theory is like on TBS, and I can tune in on that, or The Office. Sometimes, a lot of times on Comedy Central, and I'll watch the repeats of that. Tonight, it's basically Family Guy or Hallmark, and I couldn't get really involved in Hallmark because I was doing little stuff here, so I didn't want to get started on something I really couldn't finish, and so I just put on Family Guy and just kind of did my Kindle for a while.
So Al, we are always making fun of you about the live TV versus, you know, the streaming and all that, right?
Mhm.
I gotta share a story with you. You're gonna get a kick out of. I'm gonna put Nanette on the spot here. So she oftentimes DVRs, you know, shows that she'll want to watch later because, you know, we're not home during the day, and you
Mhm.
know, on Wednesday I have the guys over, so she just goes and watches whatever. And she had saved an episode of an old TV show, Murder She Wrote, and she's just trying to watch this one show. And sometimes when you DVR directly off of Direct TV, some of them, they want to preserve you watching the commercials, so you can't fast forward.
Right.
Well, in that feature,
I assume I've never had a DVD
right?
so.
As part of that, you also it gives you trouble backing up. So, like if you want to back up and watch a segment or something, sometimes it goes all the way to the beginning. So last night we were trying to watch one of these episodes, and she was trying to catch one of the commercials because it had a song in it she wanted to hear, and she wanted to find out what that song was. She tries to rewind, boom, takes her all the way back, and you can't fast forward to the part that you were at, so she has to watch the whole part that we'd seen up to that point all over again.
That's a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. And then, you know, something came up. That's it. We can't watch anymore. She pauses it. Today we go to watch it. Something else happened, and boom, back to the beginning again. So she's watched the first half of this show. I'd say 3/4 of the show. Like, this is the third time through just to get to the end. And remember, this is a murder mystery show. All she wants to know is who committed the murder.
Who the hell did it? Now
Exactly. Exactly.
But you know what? Just sit through it. Maybe catch details you didn't catch before.
In fairness, though, if we were watching it live, we only get one shot at it, so we don't get to back up.
Exactly, and that's why I like to watch certain things. There are certain shows I watch as a regular broadcast show, and a few of those that aren't easily caught on a repeat or on a downstream, like Evil's like that. I don't know. It might be somewhere. I don't really know where Evil might be to stream. I'm sure it's somewhere like on the CBS app.
I'm sure it's on CBS All Extortion.
Maybe Hulu. I don't know if even Hulu anymore. But so I that's why the book club had been at 11, but last night we did it at 10 because Evil's done for the year. So we're
no more
that.
Evil this year. Is that what you're saying? Because I see an election coming up, and I think there's going to be plenty of Evil surrounding.
Oh, it'll be back by fall. Yeah, plenty of Evil left. But yeah, for
what a week it's been, though, right?
Chris P. Want to say hi to Chris P. Just popped in. Somebody else popped in. I don't know.
We said hello to Miss Melissa Harris, right?
Yeah, I said hello to Miss Harris. Like I said, if I've missed you, I'm sorry, but you know, it's a lot.
Aged Boomer. We said hello to Aged Boomer.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. We've only got 15 people watching. I want to make sure all those 15 people feel welcome and special.
Oh, they are all welcome. And as I told, I had an afternoon with Al yesterday, and as I told,
I listened to that. I did listen to that. That's what gave me the idea to mention to you the idea of, you know, because you had said something yesterday about, you know, someone asked if Fan Man was doing something, and you were like, "Well, he's supposed to," but and as soon as
he had originally planned Well, there was an original plan to do My Bloody Valentine rewatch
My
Friday Night Flick,
Bloody Valentine.
but then
Sweet
something came up,
Miss
and
Valentine.
his family, they had there was his daughters, there was an event, and he was going to have a I'm not going to say a truncated Fan Man tonight, but it had to be. He only had a certain window. Well, that window fell in because of real life. It happens. So I think Troy's like, well, Fan Man's not going tonight. Let's do something. And so that's why we're here, because we know you guys deserve a good time. We like to have a good time. We decided just to pop on in and kind of chat about things that we can't chat about
I'll tell you, Al, I don't know about you.
with the other two guys, because
well, yeah.
they
Well, no, we can chat with the Fan Man about Star Trek, but there's two problems with that. One,
yeah.
He's so inconsistent. It's so hard to pin him down for a conversation.
Yeah.
And two, he'll take over the conversation. So
yeah, and I feel and he's got very strong opinions about
so do I, Al.
About a certain thing. Yeah, but I'm saying to the point of mental distress. So
I got it. Let me start out. Oh yeah, go
of needing a medical prescription.
He's struggling, but here's
or a liquor store.
I feel just as strongly as he does, maybe stronger, because I think just knowing what you do about me and Nanette and the Klingon thing, we live and breathe that stuff. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
dude, I know.
But at the same time, we've also gotten through so many years of this kind of BS in fandom, the whole canon argument versus fanon argument.
Yeah.
There have been, just like there have been in Star Trek among the Klingons, those civil wars, there have been those kinds of civil wars in fandom among the Klingons for years.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not, it goes within fandom, then it goes fandom versus fandom, and then I don't know. There's always some bone of contention between fans of something. Either my show is the best, your show sucks, or my show used to be the best, now it sucks, I can't even watch it, or it used to suck, but now I really like it because they've started to do this. And of course somebody else has a different opinion, but
so I'm not even joking when I say, in the streams, hey, I don't care about your Picard and what's going on with the Federation. That's your problem. They haven't heard the Klingons yet, so I don't care. I mean, we'll get more serious,
a little more
nitty-gritty of that.
Detail. I always like to take about 15 minutes, just a free flow at the beginning here.
So I know. Oh, go ahead.
Also, but you do, of course. You mentioned the Klingons. There was some sad news today.
Yep. And I don't know how many of you are.
I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys consider yourselves Klingons at heart, like myself and like Nanette. Al, I know that you are a true Fedi, but Fedis tend to support other races, beliefs, and customs. We just lost a great Klingon. He has gone on to Stovokor to again, in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
probably for the third time.
Yeah, the third time, I suppose, if you look at it that way. Kevin Conway, who played Kailash, or I suppose the clone of Kailash in the episode Rightful Heir, from which the Klingons got most of their lore, a lot of their lore about the unforgettable warrior,
Mhm.
he's passed
Well,
in real life.
we can generally assume that that's what Kalis looked like because he's a clone. So
Exactly,
that's the physical
exactly.
thing. But even if you don't know him or readily, I mean, he was a lot of things. I remember seeing. I didn't actually know it was the same actor who did it, but I remember him from the film Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, where he played the father of Mark Wahlberg's character, the guy that tries out for the Philadelphia Eagles
I don't.
and makes it.
Yeah, I never saw
Uh,
that movie, but I
yeah,
now
I
will
just
check it out just to see what
yeah,
he looks like without makeup.
yeah, it's just kind of weird. Sometimes you see somebody and you just don't really recognize them out of forehead and prosthetic or stuff. But he was in like Funny Farm with Chevy Chase. He was in Gettysburg and Gods and Generals. So
Oh, he was in Gods and Generals. What did he play?
I didn't say. I'm just
You know what? I love that movie. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it and see which specific role he played because I wouldn't have recognized him out of makeup. You know what I mean?
yeah, The Good Wife, Jag, Law and Order, and He of the Night. He was in just a ton of stuff. So
Yeah.
he was around, and he was. Oh wow! He also completed work as the control voice on Showtime and Sci-Fi's The Outer Limits reboot.
He also reprised his role as Kailash in Star Trek Online. He lent his voice to the
Oh,
role
very very neat.
where his character was killed in battle in one of the missions. So
Mhm.
so you're right. It would be 3 times. This would be the third time. But
So definitely recipe. It's always sad. I've mentioned before. I've always had an affinity for bit actors,
oh
or
yeah, oh yeah.
or those actors who don't get a lot of praise. I mean, yeah. Well, like Kirk Douglas, of course. Like the world, like literally, to me, the world shook, because Kirk Douglas passed away. Because that was just,
Yeah.
I mean, just such a huge icon. The last of the big male movie stars. I think there's a few of the females left, like Olivia de Havilland, still with us. God bless her.
She's the same age he was.
Yeah.
They were neck and neck, 103 years old. Before we move on, though, Al, the Klingons have a tradition when a great warrior passes away, and I would like to invite the stream and yourself to join Nanette and me as we raise our voices to the spirits in Sto-vo-kor to warn them that a great warrior, the greatest warrior, is coming to join them. Will you join me in raising a howl to the voices in Sto-vo-kor?
I would, but my mother's in the other room.
Okay, well, you do it quietly. We'll do it loud.
I will do
okay?
it. I will do it in Fetty spirit.
Together, we raise our voices to Sto-vo-kor. Thank you, my friends. He will lead our troops in battle in the Black Fleet. Anyway, that was sad news.
What think about it? 2 Kalises.
Yeah,
How's that
I hadn't really thought about that.
Cool.
Is he a second spirit in Sto-vo-kor, or was he the physical embodiment, like the reincarnation of the original spirit?
He was at least the physical embodiment.
Yeah. I think
he had been given all the lore from the monks.
Well, think about
whatever they were called.
Think about reincarnation in Earth beliefs. Okay, it's you believe that if your spirit is reincarnated, you usually don't remember your previous life. Right. So if he literally was the reincarnation of Kailash, the fact that he had to be programmed with the lore and the legend to simulate those memories doesn't mean that he didn't still have the spirit of Kailash. Now keep in mind too, and this is something I've talked about with the Klingon groups. Klingons have as diverse a belief system as humans do. You have to assume that. You can't assume that all Klingons believe the same thing. We even saw in that episode, Rightful Heir, that not everyone even believed the legends of Kahless. They didn't necessarily all believe in a spiritual afterlife. You got although it wasn't said directly, you got the distinct impression that that Gowron was kind of what you'd consider an agnostic or an atheist among the Klingons, but he went along with things for political reasons. So, you know, I as a cleric have to, you know, kind of examine all beliefs and be open to them, you know, for the purpose of, you know, ministering to all the Klingons.
Well, just, like I said, just in general, just from a human standpoint, that is an interesting conversation. And boy, would that be an interesting conversation since someone's taking metaphysics who's not with us tonight.
I know. How great would it be to get, you know, a Terran real life perspective on, although he definitely has to come at it from a Roman Catholic point of view.
Yeah.
I don't think they have reincarnation. Well, unless you consider Elijah, John the Baptist, that seems to be the only potential.
Yeah, no, we kind of wait until the day we are, you know, reborn. But yeah, so
wow, we got real spiritual here, didn't we?
Yeah, it got scary.
We didn't really leave Star Trek, but we're still getting pretty darn spiritual. So I do have to say though, I am over here raising my blood wine glass. Yes, I have released the Kraken because what a week it's been.
Here we go. Anything else? Or
well, I figured it wouldn't be so bad because, you know, neither one of us is monetized, so it shouldn't really matter to our channels. So I don't think we're hurting the brand any if I you know,
I still try not to cuss because I still have very strong memories of when I asked my mother what the F word meant, and I still literally feel the sting of the slap against my face.
Man!
It was the right cheek, by the way. I asked her.
You remember that, huh?
I remember. I was a little kid. I heard my cousins using that word all day long, not knowing what it was because I was 5, 6. I don't know how old I was. I was a wee little one. But I tell you one thing, that's I asked Mom, what does mean? And slap! I remember the feel of that hand on my face though, and she's like, "You never use that word in front of me again." And I still remember I was watching a movie once, and I'm 30-ish. Yeah, I'm in my 30s, and I'm sitting watching with my mom, and something happens, and I just, oh, that was effing stupid. I literally stopped. And I kind of peripherally, because I always am aware when I'm with my mother, I try not to cuss. I still, although it's a little more nowadays because she's a lot more used to it because I've had a rough life the last few years. But I remember looking over her and she was giving me an eye of daggers. I was like, ooh, still does not want her son using that word.
I'm in my
30s.
I had a different you know, situation with my mom. My mom was like the cool mom, but she still tried to be mom, you know, so she still didn't want me swearing because that's, you know, what her job was for me not to swear, but she cussed like a sailor herself. So she kind of really didn't have that much ground to stand on. But there were times when I would say things, and you, like you just described, you say things in your innocence. You don't even realize they're bad.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I you know, it's just this word that they were throwing around, and I didn't know what it was.
And
I was curious. I was at a point of curiosity.
Yeah, you were honestly asking.
That it was a word I should not be saying.
So there was, you know, and then when you get older, you talk with your mom, you know, more as peers about things in the past, and she relates these stories to me about things that I have fuzzy memories of, and I'm like, getting them from her point of view. So here's little 8-year-old Troy was, I had gotten one of those, you remember, you young people probably never had this, but we had, very simple toys as kids. And I had one of those bottles of soap, and you'd put the little wand in, you blow bubbles.
Oh, yeah. Well, you still get those.
Well,
yeah.
you couldn't do those in the house. You did them outside, or you did them in the sink. But I did them so crazy in the sink. I literally filled the sink with these bubbles.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was prolific, right? And my mother comes in and she says, "That's enough. I don't want to see you doing that anymore." And in complete innocence, without any sass in my heart or mind, I said, "Then don't look."
Ooh.
And Mom stopped, walked away, came back and said, "What I mean is, stop it right now."
Ooh.
Okay.
Her patience saved your life.
I put the thing, okay, I'm done. And complete obedience, because I, again, was not being rebellious. Jump ahead 40 years. And she reminded me of this thing. I'm like, yeah, I vaguely remember that. She says, "What you don't realize is I walked away and burst out laughing." She said,
"Oh, good one.
I didn't want you to see that." I burst out laughing. I thought that was so hysterical, because she knew exactly the heart that I was coming to her with. And she came back all serious. Well, then we both shared a good laugh about that. But
yep.
Yeah.
Melissa Harris said, you're quoting Clash of the Titans, release the Kraken. Yeah. Just reminds me that was going to be next week's rewatch for me. But I wanted to say I'm going to celebrate the great Kurt Douglas. Kurt Russell's tomorrow night. Kurt Douglas tomorrow next Saturday with a rewatch of The Vikings, which is streaming on Amazon. So if you want to watch, or it's there for now. I hope it stays put. But great fun film. Gonna watch that to honor the great Kurt Douglas. Was first thought I came across, of course, Spartacus, because that's the definitive film for Kurt Douglas. But I think so. That's like 3.5 hours long. So I was like, nah.
It's also one of those films that has different versions, and we've kind of struggled with the rewatches on people watching different versions of the movie.
And sometimes you sometimes you just gotta go. And like I said, I love the show The Vikings. Looking forward to Troy telling me about all the inaccuracies, but I already know about all the inaccuracies because I used to dress up as a Viking. And,
I hold older movies to a different standard than modern films.
So Hollywood's version of the medieval times was a lot of fun. And it's actually. If anybody has ever heard of the Society for Creative Anachronisms,
yes,
as our group used to say, we try to do history the way it really was. The SCA does history the way Hollywood did it. Which is just as fun. It can be just as fun, and you can literally do both, because sometimes Hollywood really got it right.
So when I'm not doing the Klingon thing, I don't talk about this much now that I think about it. But Nanette and I do a lot of steampunk and Victorian reenacting and that kind of thing, and that's a very similar kind of thing. Steampunk is very much an idealized, romanticized version of the Victorian era.
Right. Yeah. Well, so when I was doing, I started doing the medieval stuff, and of course, some people, the group originally started in the 60s. It grew out of the fencing club because they wanted to know what it would be like to use heavier weapons. So they decided to do the kind of a recreation of the Battle of Hastings. And so they got some broadswords and made some tinfoil helmets, and really just went out there and had a lot of fun. And it just grew, and it it's a mid-Atlantic group. It's a lot different than it was. Probably not as big as it was, but it was a lot of fun. And when I was doing it, it was probably at its height. But I always preferred doing the Viking, Saxon, um, or and up to the 13th century, because that's where that was the latest that I ever did a recreation of.
Hmm.
But I always liked, like, I loved going to the Renaissance Fair, because that was a whole different kettle of fish. That was a little more in the Hollywood-esque kind of style, but you had some people that really took it seriously. But it is fun to dress up. I mean, you definitely know that.
Oh yeah, and
Um,
it can be an also very expensive hobby.
yeah, and that is a hobby that
Get your children into cosplay. They will
yeah,
never do drugs because they won't have the money.
yeah, and because there was a big controversy a few years ago about the about cosplay, about you know I'm very much in the thing is like, anybody could cosplay anything they want, and if they're having fun, that is the biggest point. You don't have to be, totally screen accurate. I mean, like, if there's a contest or something, of course, that's where you go full in. But if you're just running around a convention,
Speaking
have
of
fun.
the competitions, I hate those competitions. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I literally just want to go and have fun.
Yeah.
But every now and again, people will say, your costume is so good, you should get into and especially when I'm at a smaller con,
Right.
or whatever, they need people to participate, I'll go do it. And Nanette and I pretty much win every time. and it's like there's no competition. I don't really, that's on the one hand, I don't like winning because I don't want to, take it from somebody else who put in a lot of effort and really tried. On the other hand, I don't like being judged. I'm like, screw you,
Yeah.
judge me. But we do that. So at a lot of the smaller conventions, we've gotten to the point where they're like, hey, you know what, would you guys mind judging, because you guys really know your stuff. So we've sat as judges for a lot of the costume competitions.
Yeah. I would have loved to have done more cosplay. I just never had the gumption to do it. Like, a little on the shyer side at that time. Like, in person, I'm a lot shyer than when I was young.
Really?
When I was younger. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, face to face, I'm probably I mean, I wouldn't be. Once I warm up, I'm really good. But
Yeah.
if I'm going to, like, a con by myself and thinking about dressing up, it's not something I wouldn't have done, but it's just something I just never decided to do. And I kind of look back, I was like, I wish I had done something, once
Yeah.
or twice, just so I could, have some pictures of me. I mean, I have a few pictures of me dressed up in medieval stuff, but nothing spectacular. I always played pretty much your peasant serf slash lower ranking kind of guy. So
yeah, and I totally get that, because I'm such a shy, introverted type of guy that no, I'm screwing with you. I'm not. I am not at all.
Yeah. DRY says, my brother and I went to Dragon Con one year. He had someone say what he was wearing was cool. My bro was dressed in a Western shirt and a cowboy hat.
That's it.
Hey,
that's awesome.
Say this is my Westworld cosplay.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool. I mean,
sometimes it's just the subtle stuff. Sometimes you just, there's one of the people that we see occasionally in the stream, the Iron Duke. He's not. I haven't seen him tonight, but every night he goes to a convention and he'll put on an Iron Maiden shirt with a little light under the chest, and he's he's freaking Tony Stark.
Oh yeah,
Just no doubt about it.
yeah, and that's something that can be so subtle.
Yeah.
Done.
If you
Yeah,
do it, if you
you're
do it right, and you do it on point,
Yeah.
even if it's subtle, people look and go, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, and you don't need to spend a lot of money, but I mean, you can. Like I said, if you want to go as Iron Man,
Yeah.
you're gonna dish out some cash. Either buying it or forging it, or what's the foam stuff that a lot of people use.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of DIYs for cosplay, and
I got to tell you, I've
things
seen a
like
lot of
that.
videos about it. I would really like to get into it. I'm not real into the art. I actually have a big roll of that foam because I want to make some Klingon the shoulder armor. But I
Yeah.
just haven't gotten around to it. I got a lot of projects going on, as
I
you've
would
seen.
I would like to make like old time helmets, like an old Buck Rogers 30s helmet, with like the little like weird antenna on the top or
The
something
goal
like that.
always is for a lot of costumers, unless they want to fabricate everything. You
Yeah.
look at the old props and you go, like the Star Wars props, and go, what did they actually use, and can I obtain that thing?
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't want to look. I mean, you want to look as good as possible, but you don't, like I say, you don't want to go off the deep end. I mean, there are things I would love to have. I would love to have an X-wing pilot helmet, like Luke Skywalker helmet from New Hope. I would love to have, like I said, like a very retro Buck Rogers kind of helmet, like that. The old, the really old kind of thing. I always liked headgear, like helmets, hats, dubobbies, because I always had trouble with my body because I was always a larger guy, so it was always harder to find things to fit.
Yeah.
But usually I have a big head too, but usually it's easier to find a hat that fits.
Well, dude, you've seen pictures of me, right?
Yeah, but
where I was a bigger guy. I was 350 pounds, and
it would be a lot of fun.
I wanted to do an X-wing pilot, like Porkins, right? Only come to find out they don't make those jumpsuits in big guy sizes. The guy that played Porkins in the movie actually had a flight suit split down the middle, and it was just kind of draped over him. I did not realize that. And I'm like,
I still loved when I teased a younger cousin that I was Porkins in the movie.
You told me that story.
I love that. I still love that. I want to get to a question that Owen Lister. I've seen him post a couple times. I've been meaning to get to it. It is a little change in the Trek direction, but I think it could be interesting. If we were in charge of a big budget Justice League show, who would we cast and why?
In what? A Justice League film?
Justice League. Well, first off, Brandon Routh is Superman.
Yep, I'm with you right there. Boom.
Yeah, Brandon Routh is my Superman.
Dude, I personally, I don't have the problem that a lot of people do with what's her name, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I'm fine with her as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, a lot of people think she's a little skinny. I think she's hot. I think she's a beautiful.
I told you. There's a
scene. I don't think she's that skinny.
No.
I think she's very toned.
You don't have to be muscular to be Wonder Woman. I mean, look at Linda Carter. She wasn't like super muscular.
Linda was voluptuous. Linda was more curvy.
And like I said, there was one shot that I saw of her in the promos from Justice League where she was, Diana Prince. And I swear I got a Linda Carter vibe from her. And it was at that moment where I said, yeah, okay, I'm good with this casting.
Yeah, I am totally good with
Skipper Kenner, Clint Howard as Wonder Woman. What are you drinking tonight? Actually, you already said what you were drinking tonight.
Yeah, good. I will tell you though, Clint Howard, great guy.
Yeah.
Met him, and one of the greatest con experiences of my life. Just there, me and Clint chatting for an hour. Greatest con experience of my life. Except maybe getting that hug from Jane Weedland was pretty freaking far out too.
So wait a minute. We got Brandon Routh. We got Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I'll keep Gal Gadot.
Gadot. She
Gadot.
pronounces it Gal Gadot. So
okay,
I should
but
pronounce it.
if we change, let's say we change Gal Gadot, I like someone like Alexandria Daddario.
Whoever that is. Okay.
Look her up. Trust me.
What's it again?
Alexandra Daddario. She was in The Lightning Thief. That movie they had with The Lightning Thief. She was like the daughter of.
Oh, the first picture I see of her is not flattering.
Really?
She's got this creepy looking smile on. Okay,
okay. Yeah, sometimes it's all about her as well. But
she's got great eyes. Yeah, she's got that dark hair, blue eyes kind of thing that totally fits for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she was in the new Baywatch movie.
Dude, I gotta say though, I'm not getting a Wonder Woman from her, but I totally see that if they costumed her and made her up and did her hair, she might be able to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've always liked her look. I always thought that she was pretty good. I've always liked the idea, and I saw someone mention it earlier. I've always liked the idea of Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. Although he may be getting a little long in the tooth for it.
Yeah, at this point,
I do like him as Green Lantern.
At this point, might be a little bit old for the role, but yeah, I could see it. I'll be honest with you, Ryan Reynolds was not a bad choice. It's just the way they wrote it and what they were working with was terrible.
Just a bad execution. But I will say, the guy who plays Diggle on the CW would make a great Jon Stewart.
I'll take your word for it. Again, I have no idea.
From Arrow. He was the guy from Arrow. Can't think of his name. Terrible. I'm always terrible with some actors' names that just kind of come and go.
But you know what? For this, I want to back up and say that we're doing all this casting, and I think we've, especially the big ones we've done are just fine. But I always say that they keep looking for stars to play these roles, and the best casting sometimes are the people you've never heard of before. Who ever heard of Christopher Reeve before he played Superman?
Oh yeah. But then sometimes you get the Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, you've got an excellent point there.
It always works out. But like Linda Carter, she was a virtual unknown when she got
at least as an actress. Yeah,
she was a little bit of a singer model kind of thing, but
yeah.
First acting year, but always.
How about Batman? We need to get our third.
We need a good Batman. We need that. We need the rest.
And we need someone who's in this age range. I mean, Batfleck was not. No. Still have no idea about Sparkly Vampire Boy. I don't know anything about him.
Pattinson. Yeah, I really don't know. The one thing the world really needs is more. It's sad to say this. There's a very short supply of manly male actors in the young range. They all look like skinny little things to me.
I don't know. I think the guy that plays Falcon's pretty buff. He's pretty cool.
Oh well, yeah, but he's already a superhero, So
well, that's true. He's Marvel. He would never be able to.
He's
under contract.
You never they jump back and forth.
True.
But saying that, if contracts weren't a thing, like I said, we're just doing fantasy. The guy who plays Bucky, I think he could be a great Batman. Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Look, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say this. Aquaman. Justin Hartley would have been a great Aquaman.
Justin Hartley was perfect Aquaman.
I mean, I don't think the way he was, I don't know. Did you ever see his, the pilot that he did?
I started one day and I just kind of got distracted away from it, and I just never went back to it.
It was really good. But well, especially for what it was the very
Yeah.
beginning of the character. But at this point, at his age, I would love to see him as the older, serious Arthur Curry, who has had to, lead his people and
Lost,
live in two worlds, and maybe lost his
lost his
son,
hand, lost his hand, and has
lost his hand, lost his son. Well, but you want to see that story too,
right. Yeah.
But you know, see, that's what we've really missed. We're never going to see that story because now we have Aquabro.
Yeah. And like I said, he'd been perfect for Submariner or Lobo.
Oh, he would have been a great Lobo. Oh
Yep.
my gosh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but they for some reason they chose him for that. Someone's saying Scott Adkins for Batman. I don't know who Scott Adkins is.
I
Let me
don't
look him
either.
up. Yeah, I can see it just from a looks thing. I can see him doing. I can see him doing Batman.
Skipper Kenner saying, I don't mind Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Again, I felt that the struggle was in the script. That okay, he's absolutely right about that. And I'll be honest, Skipper Kenner, I think when they were looking at Jason Momoa, long hair, shaggy and whatnot, I think they were looking at that post, lost hand Aquaman, and you need the story that leads up to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we never got that.
Well, the problem is they wanted to jump to the big team up right away because Marvel had left them in the dust.
And how did that work out for
the exactly
guys,
and they totally dropped the ball. They took the wrong direction on almost every character. Like I said, I'm still not 100% convinced that Wonder Woman's not a fine choice.
Skipper Kenner says, who would make a good Nort? You know who I think would make a good Nort is crap. I'm forgetting the actor's name. The one that does all the CG work that played Smeagol.
Oh, jeez. And I was just looking at his name.
Somebody help us out here. Who played?
Because he's going
Gollum.
Because he's going to be Alfred in the Batman.
You're kidding me. I can see it. I can see it. Andy Serkis. Thank you.
I couldn't get Alex out of my head. I knew it began with an A, but I couldn't get Alex out of my head. And
I think he would make a great Nort.
Who's Nort now?
Nort is a Green Lantern who's like kind of a dog person, a little bit of a comical kind of character.
Oh, one of the Green Lantern. Okay, I'm not completely up on the Green Lantern Corps. I know Kilowog and Sinestro before he goes not so yellow.
Skipper Kenner, I'm not going to call you by your name. I'm not going to ruin your secret identity. I don't do that. I try not to do that, even with Fan Man and Professor Geek, even though everybody knows who they are.
Clint Howard as Joker or Scarecrow. Clint Howard is Penguin.
Oh,
I'd
like that.
Yeah,
you know what though? I'd want him to play a more sympathetic Penguin instead of a really evil Penguin.
Yeah, I think he could do that. Yeah,
because it can go either way. He could.
He could. I think. Yeah, I don't know about him now, but I think it would need. I don't know how old he is, but I can see him doing Penguin.
Hey Al, I normally don't do this during a stream, but can I step away for a second? Can you take the stream for a while?
Has the rum? You gotta do a rum run.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay. Keith David as Martian Man. Oh, what? That is a good choice, Keith David. Yeah, I can see Keith David as Martian Manhunter. It would have like him. The guy that plays Martian Manhunter on Supergirl right now, I think he's a darn darn good Martian Manhunter. Uh, I will say some of the shows get it right as far as casting. Where they go awry is the writing. Like I think Melissa Benoist is a fine Supergirl from the looks standpoint, and what she could do physically. I just sometimes don't like the way they write her. And plus now they put her in that stupid ass pantsuit. Gah. That was the worst decision of all time. And yeah, I know, avert the male gaze. Quite frankly, that's the best thing the show had going for it. What was that short little skirt she wore? So yeah.
Are we still on Justice League? Because Janice Zeal's asking about Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy. Who could play Poison Ivy? Need a good redhead. Not a lot of good redhead. Well,
oh, you know who would make a great Poison Ivy? Oh God, what's her name? She's gorgeous too. She was totally miscast as Lois Lane. In Man of Steel.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Could you see her playing an evil seductress?
Maybe.
She's a good actress.
I could see it, but it doesn't ring all the bells for me.
That's one of those ones where if you saw it, you'd be like, "Oh, now I see it."
Yeah. Yeah. This. God. See, if I had a heads up on this, I would have been better prepared with some possible hottie little red. I'm trying to think.
Well, although I haven't
think of some that are out there already.
I haven't done anything with it. I haven't done a lot with it. I do have a Facebook group where I was trying to discuss the idea of if we could reshape the DC universe, the film universe, what would it look like, and how could we go back in time and change things?
Agent Boomer has Christina Hendricks as Poison Ivy. I think Christina Hendricks, yeah, a little bit, but I think maybe she might almost be too curvy. Like I picture Poison Ivy to be a little more on the slender, lanky side. In my Uma Thurman, but not Uma Thurman. Young Nicole Kidman.
I may be in the minority, but I've never been a big fan of Uma Thurman. I never thought she was
all that.
Yeah.
I think Uma Thurman is attractive. But did you hear the way my voice was?
Yeah.
She's okay. Yeah. I don't think she's I don't think she's a oogly, your eyes are gonna fall out of her head.
Oh, amen. Skipper Kenner. Simple. Stop racing Marvel to dollars and start focusing on story and the script.
Yeah, dude, that's what they should have done.
Your keyboard to Hollywood's ears or eyes or whatever, because damn it, you want the dollars, get the writing and the story down and the dollars will follow. That's always been the way. That's what happened with Star Wars. That happened with every blockbuster that they keep trying to frickin' remake and ruin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, first of all, Man of Steel just that started it off, and it just they literally wrecked it. They did what the Mummy did, which was just totally go off the rails story-wise.
Yep.
No matter how the visuals are, no matter how well casted it might have been, they got the story wrong.
It's really that simple. People have not realized nobody cares about anything but the story.
And Henry Cavill could have been a fine Superman, but they effed it up. And now he's
can't go back. You just can't go back.
He's that meal you ate before you got deathly ill from flu that you always associate with the flu.
Melissa Harris.
I ate that and I got sick, and Henry Cavill, he was Superman and it made us sick, so he's no longer viable for Superman.
I want to go back to a comment that Melissa Harris said.
Sure.
I love this. Lois from Smallville as Lois Lane or as Wonder Woman.
Erica Durant. Yep.
Now, I agree with you about the Wonder Woman. There was an episode where she dressed as Wonder Woman in
Oh yeah,
Smallville, and I was like, yeah, she's got it.
yeah.
But honestly, my whole, if I could go back and take over the DC universe from the 80s onward, I would have taken the boat of money and backed it up to their door and convinced Tom Welling and Erica Durance and Michael Rosenbaum and everybody else to spin that show up to the big screen.
Mhm.
And I would have stopped earlier in the series. I would have said, you know what, when he goes to Metropolis,
Yeah.
that's where Smallville ends, and we go up to the big screen and we do the Superman movies, and we start spinning off from that show, and your Arrow and Flash and Aquaman would have all come out of that.
Mhm. The one thing I think Smallville's a great show. It truly is, but they suffered from their own rules that they started at the beginning, which is during our show there'll be no flights, no tights, and they went on too long.
Yeah,
He should have been flying 5 years into that show minimum.
yeah.
He actually should have been flying from the beginning.
Although there is a way to spin that I would say is okay.
Ooh, Kaylee Cuoco as Harley Quinn. Physically, I can see it. I don't know. I'm wondering.
I'll give you an alternate on that. Kaylee Cuoco. Bear with me. I know she's a blonde, but you can always dye your hair. Kaylee Cuoco as Zatanna.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you see it? Can you see why I'm saying that?
Yeah, because she's hot as hell.
Well, she's hot as hell. That's true.
But
she's also got where did we see her first? It wasn't Big Bang Theory. For us fanboys, it was Charmed. The last season of Charmed, she was one of the
actually for those who have really been in love with her, first time I saw her was in the movie that showed the Brady Bunch. And she played the one who played Marsha. And there's a scene where she gets into the pool with Greg.
Nice.
And you will go to jail thinking the things you're thinking, but still.
Okay, Owen Lister has a great question, and I want to talk about this one. Who would you cast as Black Canary? Now, here's my thought. I don't have any specific person in mind, but here's my criteria. Obviously, she's got to be, the hot blonde. She's got to be able to move. She's got to have the fighting skill and whatnot, which can be taught, of course.
Yeah.
But I would also want her to have a voice that conveys Black Canary, like a singer's voice, I don't know who that might be. I can't think of anybody, but that would be my criteria if I was casting that film. I want her to be able to hit a note.
If she were, bear with me here. Did you see this? Did you see any of the Super Bowl halftime show?
What?
The Super Bowl halftime show.
No, if it wasn't a super, hero type of thing, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you know Shakira?
I've heard of her.
That girl's got a body, but I can see someone like a Shakira playing her.
Although, I don't know for sure who Shakira is, but I'm guessing she's not blonde.
Well, she's kind of the blondie, kind of like highlighty blonde. I'm gonna look up blonde actress.
I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I really am, because you guys are tagging me here, but between how much you guys are getting into this conversation and the booze, I'm having a hard time here.
Well, Amber Heard, she's kind of shot herself in
Owen Lister, I know nothing about the TV
show,
but from what Professor Geek has said about the actor who plays Green Arrow on that Arrow show, I don't think I'd have a problem with it.
Stephen Amell.
Let me just say this, for crying out loud, there's got to be some unity in the freaking DC universe, TV and movies and whatnot, because damn it, I mean, at least Marvel gives lip service to the idea that their TV characters and their movie characters are in the same universe.
Yeah. Oh, I've got our Black Canary, by the way.
Tell me.
Dove Cameron.
Okay, this is somebody I got to Google. Dove
Cameron. Yeah, Karen Gillan's Poison Ivy. Perfect. Agent Boomer nailed it. Nail it to the wall.
Okay. As what role? As Black Canary?
No, Karen Gillan is Poison Ivy.
Oh crap! That's perfect. That's
perfect.
Perfect. You got it. Okay, I'll give you that one for sure. Dove Cameron.
Dove Cameron. She as Black Canary.
She looks familiar. Where have I seen her before?
She was on Descendants. She was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know that.
Yes. She was in Descendants. Nanette is a big fan of that, and I know her, and she can sing. Yes. Oh my gosh. Perfect casting. Okay.
Perfect.
You hit all of my criteria. Although
and she is
I feel very uncomfortable.
Old. Perfect.
I was going to say I feel very uncomfortable thinking of her as sexy though, because she is very, 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 very young.
She's 24. She's over the legal age. So
technically legal does not make it okay from my point of view. Okay.
We're talking about Black Canary, who would be, if we start off as young and she could grow with the role.
I do like this trend. I've heard about it in the TV show, and they also did this in the Birds of Prey series. Mm-hmm. This idea that there are multiple generations of Black Canary,
right,
to go with the whole, All-Star Squadron, Justice League thing,
Yeah. Melissa Harris, are the Netflix shows still canon to MCU? I believe so. And in fact, Charlie Cox, I hear, is very close to becoming Daredevil again.
Yeah. Let's put a pin in that.
Let's hope.
Until that happens, we can't say for sure. But let's hope. Disney, one thing that I will give Disney that I am pleased with is they really are trying to pull all of the Marvel properties into their umbrella. Now, of course, that's evil, greedy, corporate conglomerate, but I don't care. I still want all of Marvel live action in one place.
Right.
So I hope that does come to pass. And I don't care what anyone says about those Netflix properties. I love those shows.
Those shows were fantastic. I don't
even Power Fist. Okay. I like those.
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
Yeah. Power Man and
Iron Fist. Yeah, right. Thank you. A lot of booze. I got a lot of booze in me right now, so give me that one.
I believe although I do think Iron Fist was probably the weaker of the four, well, five if you consider Punisher. They were all damn quality shows, very very interesting, great binge shows if you really wanted to go through them all. But I've got to say, I think Daredevil just was so good each season, from the acting to the stories to the choreography of the fights. Just freaking fantastic.
And one of the saddest things, I just having a little minor argument off board with Skipper Kenner. One of the biggest things I feel like we're missing is the Justice Society.
Yeah.
I wish we could get some Justice Society period pieces. I mean, we've seen how Marvel did
Legends sort of has them a little bit.
And that was just enough to kind of whet your appetite enough to go, we need this, you know?
Yeah, it'd be cool to see a retro show like that with some of the older heroes. Um,
I liked something that was happening in the
I tell
Bronze
you,
Age.
I will tell you one thing. I still think I've never seen a portrayal of Hawkman done so well as they did on Smallville with
Right.
Michael Shanks.
And they
The
even
version they
had the
did on
storyline right.
yeah, and the Legends one. Oh my God! First of all, wrong
That I
helmet
haven't seen.
killed the character immediately for me. That helmet looked like Hawk Girl's helmet, so that immediately killed the character for me. But Michael Shanks, the little story, the little arc he did for Smallville, God, I love that because
And
I've always liked I like Hawkman. I've always been a Hawkman
one
fan.
of the things that I think the comics have played with but never gotten quite perfect that the movies could have done is the interactive tapestry of these characters. I would love to have seen an origin for Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Captain Marvel, Black Adam, and Isis, all kind of tied together.
Tied to the Mediterranean region.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been
Even
cool.
even if you work in the whole um reincarnation element and oh gosh, you know, do you remember I mean you and I are close in age. Do you remember that Captain Marvel Isis show from Filmation
Oh, of
back
course I do. I used to
Saturday
watch that
morning?
all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Also,
What was her
Bigfoot
Cameron?
Wildboy.
What was her name? Something Joanne Cameron, who
Yeah,
played Isis.
Joanna,
Oh my,
Joanna Cameron,
Joanna Cameron. Thank you. Oh
who
my
could have
God.
easily also done Wonder Woman,
Right.
but
Oh my
she
God.
was a beauty. Still is a very good looking woman.
Another interesting, just like if you want to look at a very interesting way that a character was created in another medium and then went to comics. Isis, she started out as that live action character, as the female counterpart to Captain Marvel, and then she made it into the comics, kind of the way Harley did. Harley was created in the cartoon series and eventually made it into the comics.
Yeah. God, I love the 70s Saturday mornings. Oh my God, it was perfect.
That's why I love Facebook, because there's all these groups for
Yeah. Well,
all those
I belong to
nostalgias.
I belong to Arc 2, which was
Mhm.
a show I liked. It was on for, I think it's Caesar too. About the the roving laboratory on wheels, very similar to the Damnation Alley kind of trucks. You remember Damnation Alley?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never
Sorry.
seen Damnation Alley?
No, this one I don't know. Yeah.
Well, look it up right now. It had George Papard, Jan Michael Vincent, that creepy kid who played the tough kid in Bad News Bears, who's also played Rorschach. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know this at all.
You never saw Damnation Alley.
I'm
Post-apocalyptic world. Guy builds a couple of those to go cross country through like irradiated zones, trying to find the last, like some area of humanity that still exists. And it's a really cool film, very 70s. Or was it, no, it was 70s.
The 70s were a weird, crazy, awesome time.
God, I loved it. I loved it. It was from when I was 5 to 15.
It was
The
all
70s.
Naga hide and formica and large sideburns and wide ties and
Oh, tie-dye.
Linda Carter and Joanna Cameron and
Lou
Farrah
Ferrigno.
Fawcett.
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou
BJ
Ferrigno. Did I tell you I met Lou Ferrigno?
BJ and the Bear.
I was like freaking 8 years old when I met Lou Ferrigno at the Chicago Auto Show. And I got in line and he asked if I wanted his autograph. I said, no, I just wanted to shake your hand. And he thought that was so cool. He picked me up and put me on his shoulder
Cool.
so that my mom could get a picture. Now, I don't think that picture still exists. I haven't seen it. It's not in my photo album or anything,
Hmm.
but that was a great memory.
Yeah, I remember I did that with Peter Mayhew. I'd gone through the autograph line
You
earlier.
met Peter Mayhew?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
I
did.
heard he was a great guy, except when he was
He
drinking.
he's a wonderful guy. Never saw him drink it.
Good.
Just saw him like as a just regular Peter. He'd been signing autographs. He was still at his table, but his line it had died down. It was later in the day, but he was still scheduled to be there, and he was catching a few people here and there. And I just I was staying there and like, I should talk to him. I need to talk to him. I want to talk to him. And I had to work myself up to do it. And I asked him, I was like, must get kind of boring sitting there signing your name all of the pictures. He's like, it's not bad. Because if you've ever heard him talk, he kind of has a little weird kind of voice to him.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not bad. He's like, sometimes I do wish I could get my signature made into a stamp and just stamp it one after the other. And he's like, it would still be my signature technically. and just chatted for a few minutes. And but I was like, he's like, I want to thank you for letting me chat with you. He's like, oh, that's fine. And he put up his hand to shake my hand. And I shook his hand, and it is like it was like a catcher's mitt. He had a huge hand. So.
In a couple weeks, I'm going to be doing I'm going to use my week to do a rewatch of the Twin Peaks pilot, the 2-hour pilot, and I'll probably tell some stories about some of the Twin Peaks stars that I've met. And one of the great things about meeting those stars is it's very different from the conventions where you generally meet celebrities.
Right.
It's a much more intimate kind of environment. I've literally sat down and had a meal with many of the people that starred in Twin Peaks.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'll tell you some of those stories, and I'll tell you, it was sitting and talking with them that I really realized these people that excuse me for using such grandiose language, but deify as celebrities, they're just people.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to sit and talk with them and connect with them on a human level, you realize that.
Yeah, and if you go to enough conventions, you get that way. But I swear to God, when you're a fanboy, and you go to that first couple, 1 or 2 conventions, especially when you meet the quote unquote the biggest star you've ever met, you have an out of body experience sometimes, and you kind of like,
I'm sitting here talking to this person, yeah.
Or don't say that. That's so stupid. You're like, oh my God, I love you. You do the I love you, man. Kind of thing. It's like, oh God, that's so embarrassing.
Well, and then there's the other side of it. Sometimes, there's the whole never meet your heroes. You kind of realize that some of them are real dicks.
I've never met any. Well, except for like I said, I had my Momoa experience. But
there you go. Right.
I've met a couple that were not the most sociable.
So
I did well. One was now this one, and I got this one. I have that has an asterisk. I met Connor Trinneer.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a big fan of his.
Was not the most outgoing guy.
Really?
We found out he was sick.
Oh.
He was getting over the flu and still came out there. I give him a pass. Plus, I met him on the Sunday again, and he was lovely. So sometimes if you have that one bad experience, like I said, if I ever met Momoa again, it might be completely different. But I do know that little slender piece of time I had with him, he didn't come off that well.
Yeah, when I met Mark Hamill, it wasn't a good day for him, and it wasn't the best experience, which totally did not match what I've heard from everybody else who's ever
Right.
met Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I mean, you have like when I met Andrew Robinson, and it was well, the first time I met him, it wasn't good because there was this stupid dumbass behind me that kept yelling out questions to him and talking to him, literally like for the 10 people in front of him. As soon as he got within eye shot, just started launching questions at him and getting him in a conversation. And like, so he really wasn't able to like give us a hi or hello because this guy wouldn't shut the F up. But it was much different. I met him a second time. It was much different.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Like I said, all depends.
There's one celebrity that I met. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to besmirch anyone, but he's passed now. And when he passed, and how he passed, I was not at all surprised because when I met him, he was, let's just say he enjoyed the nose candy. And this was something I didn't know about him until I met him in person. And I was like, oh,
now I'm curious.
Okay. And then he had a heart attack and died very prematurely. And I was like, yep, not surprised. I saw that coming.
You'll have to tell me when we
when the stream ends, I'll tell you. Because it's kind of sad because I liked him, at least the roles that he played. He was he's not someone that I'd want to, associate with personally, but that's what acting is, right?
Yeah.
You can love a character and they're pretending to be someone else.
Right.
There are some actors that I've met that I hated their character, and when I met them in person, I thought they were the nicest people.
Well, just, like I said, like a Brian Thompson who always plays, usually plays like the big bad guy or the tough guy or the bully. Really cool guy.
When Nanette and I met Colin Baker, both of us kind of hated Colin Baker because of the character that he played, the version of the Doctor that he played. When we met him in person, he became one of our favorite,
he's a lovely guy
in person, and he even said as we talked to him, he said, you know what? I hated my doctor too. He's like, they wrote this character for me and I was very much not liked and I wasn't comfortable playing him, but I had no choice. It was my job. And we were like, oh, we're so sorry.
Yeah. He was just truly not written right. But I've gotten
good to the fans.
Gotten to see more of him. And like I said, I've seen his fan interactions. And it's really sad that he got such a bum run. And he didn't even get the opportunity to do his regeneration because there was that big long time in between, and then they just recast it with Sylvester McCoy. So they just put a big blonde curly wig on Sylvester McCoy and put him in the outfit and just kind of had him roll over while regenerating. I just think it was a bum deal when you really go back and think about it. But I've never met I've never met a doctor. I need to meet a doctor.
Well, I've had the I can't type and talk at the same time now. I've really had too much to drink. I've had Nanette and I actually have had the benefit of the fact that we live in Chicago or near Chicago. So we've been able to go to Chicago TARDIS a couple of times and we've met some of the doctors, some of the companions, lovely people. I mean, so warm and kind to the fans.
I would like I said, I would love to be. And I'd love to meet anybody anymore. I just can't get to them. But yeah, Doctor Who is a section of fandom I've really never gotten to like meet any of the actors or get any of the autographs or anything like that. And really wish I had, would love to get.
So
Of course, Tom Baker would be like the guy to I really like to get a hold of.
having met so many celebrities from so many fandoms, one thing that I can say, as a piece of advice to anyone meeting a celebrity, if you're going to see somebody because of a particular fandom, that they are in, that they represent, if you can tell them, hey, I'm a fan of you from this fandom, but I also loved you so much in this other thing,
Right.
they will love the hell out of it.
They light up. I did that with Dwight Schultz, Barkley, because
gosh, he's been in so many things. If I ever met him, I'd be like, oh God, I loved you in
Yeah.
this, and I loved you in this, and I loved you in this. Oh my God, you are awesome.
Because it's most people know it's like Star Trek or A-Team, and I met him. It's like I loved Fat Man and Little Boy.
Oh gosh,
Yes, Oppenheimer.
Yes.
What a great film, and he was fantastic in it. And I remember when I mentioned it, he just looked up at me like, "Thank you," because he like doesn't hear that, and they, just like I said, there are just some people you meet and always have those few other things you've seen them in your quiver to talk about because they do really like that.
Right.
Some of them get so typecast as a certain character that no one remembers anything else. Like if you bring up I mean, even like something like George Takei, you can go up and go, "I loved you in Space Cases."
Yeah.
Now that's something that a lot of people wouldn't even get, but you mentioned it to an actor, I'm sure.
So let me mention when I met Peter Jurasik, his name is pronounced Peter Jurasik, who played Londo in Babylon 5.
All right.
I told him, I said, look, I love you as Londo, but I was a fan of yours when you were in Hill Street Blues. His face just lit up so much. And he's like, you are awesome. I am so pleased to meet you. When I met I'm drawing a blank on her name. She played Ursa in Superman, and she played Pamela in V.
Yeah, they're talking about. I can picture her.
Well, my mind is really fuzzy right now, so I'm having a really hard time.
The hair story.
Huh?
Tell the hair story. I didn't recognize you without hair.
I'll get to that one, but I when I met her at in Metropolis for the Superman celebration, they have pictures of themselves, their headshots to buy to be autographed, and I picked up the one of her as Pamela in V. And so she starts signing it, and she signs it as Ursa from Superman, and she's like, oh, wait a minute, I made a mistake. And I'm like, no, that's fine, I don't care. She goes, no, you wanted a signature from Pamela, I'm gonna sign it as Pamela. And because actually there were more people going over to Margot Kidder to get an autograph than to her, we just kind of sat and talked with her for a while, and she was just so sweet and so pleasant. Anyway, I'm rattling on at the mouth here.
I had a friend of mine who was going to a convention, and at the convention was the guy who played Robin Hood in Once Upon a Time TV show.
Never saw it. Okay.
He was also remember that Meet the Spartans, the comedy movie based on 300.
Mm-hmm.
He played Leonidas in that.
I think I know.
Sean McGuire is his name, but he was in a show. The first time I ever knew him, he was in a show called Crod Mandoon and the Flaming Sword of Fire.
Okay,
ever hear of that? It was on for
not at all. No, not at all.
It was on for like a short little season on TV, and it was just like this weird, like weird D&D-ish kind of Conan-y parody kind of thing. And I just thought it was just so wacky, and I really liked it. And she was going to the convention, and I was like, if you meet Sean McGuire, tell him that Big Al says he really loved him in Crodman Dune and a Place for the Fire. She told him that. He lit up, and free signed a picture of Crodman Dune and sent it to me.
Nice.
And she sent it to me of one that he had autographed for me.
Hey, before I forget, I don't know why what you were just saying reminded me of this, but let me say this while I'm still thinking of it. You had mentioned the other night or the other day in your live stream about how much you liked the show, the film, what was it, Midnight Madness?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to do a rewatch of that.
Definitely.
And you know what? I don't even need to be a part of it. You need to co-host that with Nanette, because she loves that movie. She told me about it, and I got to be honest with you, I've never actually seen the movie. She's seen it.
Midnight Madness.
Told me all about it, so much so that it's almost like I've seen it from how much she's told me about it.
Yeah, she's I gotta do that with her. We also have to do Blues Brothers.
Oh, Blues Brothers.
Definitely.
Yes, we need to do Blues Brothers, all three of us, because let's face it, Nanette and I, we've done the Blues Brothers tours. We live in the Chicago area, so we know all the areas it was filmed. That's our show,
Yeah.
Oh, and Skipper Kenner, you need to be in the house when we do that, because Blues Brothers, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I you know what? I won't drink that night so that I can sing that night.
Oh God.
Hey, I'm a pretty good singer.
Well, everybody could sing. It's a matter of singing well sometimes.
Okay, smartass.
Well, look at your talking.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Language. I very rarely sound decent. I think only one or two things I've actually.
There's been a couple times, Al, that you've belted out a song, and Nanette was like, "Hey, he can really sing when he tries."
Yeah, if the right song.
If you're not messing around, if you're actually trying to sing a song that's in your range, yeah.
Range, right? Yeah, I can hit it a little bit. Chris P's asking, wasn't Peter Jurasik in Tron? I think he was.
I responded to him. I don't remember what role he played, but if he was, I got to look back at that, because let me tell you something. Peter Jurasik was such a nice guy when we met him. Okay, so I got to back up and tell. I know I've told this story in the stream before, but I'm going to tell it again. Hope you guys don't mind. So we met a lot of the Babylon 5 people at a convention here in Chicago. Well, in the Chicago area, and we. All the Babylon 5 people were lined up, and for whatever reason, at the end of the line was Mark Hamill. I don't know why. Actually, Armin Shimmerman was there too. I think it was Armin Shimmerman, then all the Babylon 5 people, and then Mark Hamill. Anyway, we were there meeting. Help me out here. Who was the one that played Delenn?
Mira Furlan.
Mira Furlan. Oh gosh, yes. So this is it. Went Mira Furlan and then Peter Jurasik. Okay, it's important that they were sitting together.
He played Crom in Tron, by the way.
Okay, I'll have to look. I have an excuse to rewatch Tron. Anyway, we had all the pictures for all the people to have them signed, but Nanette had them, and we got to Mira Furlan. And Nanette looks, and none of the pictures look like Mira Furlan, because, well, think about what Mira Furlan looked like on the show. She had, all these prosthetics and whatnot. So she's like, "I'm sorry, you got to help me out here. I don't watch the show. Which one is you?" And she laughs and she says, "Oh, this one here." And Nanette says, oh, okay, thank you. I didn't recognize you with hair. And she started laughing. Peter Jurasik over here is like, what's so funny? And she repeats it. He goes, oh, that's awesome. That is going to be my takeaway for this convention. So and I'll be honest with you, I'd only kind of watched the show and I wasn't a huge fan. And Nanette, talks me up. She goes, oh, my husband here is such a big fan of yours. And she looked up at me with this incredible smile. And I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, well, I wasn't much of a fan, but I sure am now. You're awesome. So then we get over to Peter Jurasik, and like I was saying earlier about, talking about the other roles that they played. So I said, so, I obviously am a fan of you as Londo, but, I was a big fan of you from back in the Hill Street Blues days. And he's like, would you like a picture with me? And I was like, well, I was told we're not allowed to take pictures with you. He goes, I'm a star. I'm a guest here. I can do whatever I want. And he pushes the tables apart so I can come and get a picture with him. I thought he was the most wonderful thing. Well, he thought I was because, I had said that. Anyway, just wanted to share my little Babylon 5. And this is why I told the professor I want to do a Babylon 5 stream one night.
Yeah, but I like Babylon. I knew we're always kidding and everything, but yeah, I like Babylon 5. I think Babylon 5 is a darn quality.
I'll be honest with you.
Franchise.
I think it was better than anything Star Trek did, to be honest with you. It was better than Deep Space Nine, in my opinion. And there was a lot of great Klingon content in Deep Space Nine.
There's I like I said, I hate pitting different shows against each other. But it's
well, you're one that can't pick a favorite. You're like, well, I love this, I like this, I also like this.
I do. I just happen to like things, so I kind of just dig it. But yeah, we've gone all this time we haven't talked about Picard.
I know. I like 12 times during this stream I've been thinking we've just been so stream of consciousness, and we really had intended to talk a lot more about Star Trek.
And that's what these shows really are, stream of conscious. But we did talk a little Trek, we did talk a little Klingon at the beginning.
Well,
but
what I want to ask the stream before we get into Picard, you guys enjoying it? Are you enjoying the stream? Are we talking about the things you want to? I promise you, I am trying my best in my fuzzy drunken haze to follow your comments. I know you guys are tagging me, and I try to read all of them. I'm doing my best. I hope you're patient with me. Go ahead, Al. What were you going to say?
I have no idea now.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I am so having fun. I really am.
Yeah, it's like I said, getting together with buddies and talk. But Picard episode 3 has come and had some interesting things. What do you think?
Well, full disclosure, I've seen the first 2. I haven't seen the third one yet.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen number 3 yet. Oh, okay.
So I'm probably going to be able to sum up my whole Picard experience real briefly, and then I'll let you take it.
Okay.
So I got into a little bit of a discord with Professor Geek and Fan Man over Picard, the first episode. I was all very much in the Al camp. Give it a chance. We don't know where they're going with this. So far it's pretty good. It's kind of slow, a little bit boring, but it might be okay. Second episode, they kind of lost me because they decided to show the original Enterprise, no bloody A, no B, C, or D, but it was the Discovery Enterprise. Mm-hmm. So that they were basically saying, we're in the Discovery universe. Screw you, original fans.
Yeah, they were legitimizing.
I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Which nobody wanted. I see they were
Right.
legitimizing Discovery. Nobody wants that.
Exactly. And then what I heard about the third episode was that they bring in the whole Red Angel thing, and there's a bunch more Discovery related stuff. And it's like, you know what? That's it. I don't give a crap about this anymore. Clearly, this is not
Okay,
the Star Trek Next Generation continuation that I thought it was.
No, I don't know about Discovery stuff because I don't know Discovery, so I'm not picking up any Discovery.
Have you
stuff.
not seen Discovery at all?
Nope. I've seen scenes here and there, couple things, but for the
Oh,
most
I'm
part,
sorry. I
really not
totally
into
thought
it.
you'd seen
Nope.
the Discovery.
No, don't care about Discovery.
I'll be honest with you, you're not missing anything. You're probably
Yeah,
better
I
off.
just decided not to really worry about it because
Go back and watch Enterprise again. You're better off.
yeah, I probably will. I liked Enterprise. I thought Enterprise was fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Al. It's something we can bond over.
Yeah,
Not
Enterprise
everyone,
was fine.
not
It
everyone
wasn't
likes
perfect.
Enterprise.
It wasn't
Not-
perfect.
All the Star Trek fans don't seem to like Enterprise, but Nanette and I really did.
Yeah, I
Nanette.
enjoyed it.
So you
for the
know
most
how
part.
I am about collecting
One-
toys. Nanette
one-
is real big on collecting the Enterprise toys.
Ooh, oh, cool. I actually have an Enterprise. I actually have like the full size Enterprise NX-01.
Really?
Like the one that you've like, it's somewhere packed away. Like, you just push the button on the top. And
Dude, I
it's out.
freaking want to come over to your place and help you unpack all the stuff you have packed away.
Yeah, but yeah, I've always wanted the original Enterprise. Like was it Diamond Select? Is that the company? Well, like the 12-inch Enterprise. I have a Hallmark one somewhere, not the first.
You know what? We haven't been real dedicated about the Hallmark, but we did pick up the Enterprise A.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if it's Enterprise A or the re you know what I mean? The pre-Enterprise A refit.
Right.
Anyway, the movie Generation Enterprise. We picked up that ornament this year.
Yeah,
So.
that's nice. It's a great design. I have no,
Do you have the shuttlecraft, the Galileo?
I don't think I do.
I'll tell you what.
Love that design.
For us, it's not Christmas until we pull out that ornament and press the button on the bottom, and we hear Leonard Nimoy say, "Spock to Enterprise, Spock to Enterprise. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper."
I will say, of all the shuttles and all the little small little personal transport vehicles, I have always loved the Galileo and Columbus, the original series shuttlecraft. Because to me, I remember when minivans first started to become popular. That's the first thing I thought of. Is like, man, it's kind of like a shuttlecraft. It reminded me of like a shuttlecraft.
So I want to address two of the comments that I'm seeing. Skipper Kenner, have I shared with you the re-edit of the last episode of Enterprise? If I haven't, you need to watch it, because taking Riker and Troy and all of that out of it makes it so much better. Crizzy Kitty, which one is Enterprise? Are you asking about the series Enterprise? Have you not seen the Scott Bakula Captain Archer Enterprise?
Archer.
If you haven't, you need to. It's a prequel to the original series. And while one could make the argument that it takes place in a separate universe and establishes a new continuity, you could still see it as totally in line with the original series.
Yeah,
and
it
totally
didn't
works.
go too far off the rails.
That was the way to do things. I thought they did a great job. They kind of bridged the gap between First Contact, the time travel back in time.
Yeah, because they had James Cromwell in the first episode.
I know, right? Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, I mean that right there was cool. And I think there are some things about Enterprise that I would have changed personally on a character kind of a storyline and character level. Like I hated when they paired T'Pol and Tucker.
Really?
I
What's
hated
that?
that. I just didn't buy them together at all. I liked her with Archer. It didn't have to be romantic, but I liked the Archer T'Pol dynamic.
I did too,
as
but I
a
liked
duality.
I liked the Tucker to Paul relationship because he was so
I mean, I get
antagonistic to the Vulcans and whatnot. I don't know. I liked it.
Well, so was Archer to an extent. I just didn't think Jolie Blaylock and Connor Trinneer had chemistry.
Really?
I really didn't buy their chemistry together. I thought he had more chemistry with Hoshi.
Really? I didn't get that at all.
I thought Tucker and Hoshi would have made a better couple. I would have liked to have seen that kind of trend.
Now, talk about tragic. Did you read anything about the Okudagrams and whatnot that told you about what Hoshi's future was? Okay. So do you?
Yes, she was going to die on the planet.
Yes.
With that Kirk was on.
Yes.
With, the Conscience of the King.
Now that first off, that is some great interweaving of continuity. That is brilliant writing. But oh my God, tragic. The butcher of whatever planet that was.
I can't get Koloth out of my head.
Skipper Kenner, help us out here. Hoshi's death. She died on what planet? Who was the guy that ordered her death? What episode of the original series was that?
I know it was Conscience of the King. I know
Conscience of the King. That's right.
Because he became an actor, and his daughter was
batshit crazy. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm not monetized.
Right. That's right. You're not monetized, so screw it. I can cuss up a storm. Hell damn fart.
Koloth, the Executioner?
Yes. Koloth. No. Koloth was the Klingon.
Koloth was the Klingon. It was something like that, though.
Caridan.
Caridan was who he was now. Caridian.
Right.
Caridian was who he was now.
Caridian, the Executioner. Okay,
no,
right.
No. He wasn't Caridian the Executioner. Caridian was
Kodos the Executioner. There you go.
He was Caridian as an actor. That's the name he took as an actor.
Yes. Kodos the Executioner.
Yeah.
No. You're right. We know he killed half the colony to save the rest, and Hoshi was one of them.
Right.
But I'll tell you, I think that's brilliant writing, because not every one of your favorite characters has to have this glorious happy ending. Sometimes they have the tragic ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just
on Tarsus 4. That's right. Kodos the Executioner. On Tarsus 4. I always Skipper Kenner and I go back a long way. He and I were in the same fan club where Nanette and I met, and he and I were like big time into canon and the details.
Right. I love, just like I said, if TOS was all I had, I'd be happy. And the animated series. Yeah, let's keep the animated series.
They've canonized the animated series.
I know, but I need to go back and watch those, because it's been a long time since I've seen the animated series. Oh God, what was I thinking? But another backstory I heard fleshed out a little bit was Yeoman Rand. That when she left the Enterprise, you found out that during her career she had fallen for and had a brief romance with a high-ranking officer, and he was on a career track that was going to take a place they couldn't get together, but she broke up, and unknown to him, she had a child, a daughter who had a strange disease and passed away when she was 2 or something, and that actually she got to know Scotty really, really well. I don't think they had a romance or anything, but
Where was this from? One of the novels or something?
I don't know where it was from or if it was some kind of a fan thing. But it was one backstory. But I've seen it in several places that
Huh.
people have talked about it. Now, like I said, don't know where it's from or anything like that. But it alludes to the fact that her and Kirk did at least give in a few times, and she eventually left because he was always going to choose his duty and his ship over anything else. So she left and then discovered that she was pregnant.
That's really
I-
interesting.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't believe it's canon. Or
This
anything.
this is the problem.
It's
This
kind
is
of
the
an
big difference between
story.
Star Trek and old pre-Disney Star Wars.
Yeah,
When you got novels and stuff in the expanded universe of Star Wars, you could kind of consider it canon, and it mostly matched up. Whereas the stuff in Star Trek, some of it was really good, some of it was really bad, and most of it really kind of was mutually exclusive.
hmm
That was a real problem with the beta canon of Trek for a long, long time.
Whoops, dropped my drink. but yeah, it was like yeah, it's always like some of those tragic things. But we all, of course, know that she eventually rejoined Starfleet and eventually I think she actually got to first officer rank on Excelsior, I believe.
I think well, she definitely was on the Excelsior.
Yeah, she was on it. She was high ranking.
Well, what's important is remember she was a yeoman. So she
Right.
made the leap from non-com to officer. That in and of itself is a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I always, like I said, I always liked her because she, Grace Lee Whitney was one of my first when I realized I was a boy who liked girls when I was growing up, and thankfully I had the opportunity to tell her that. Like, when I got to meet her, I was like, you know what, you were the first TV crush I ever had. She's like, oh, thank you. But I always,
To the day she died, she was gorgeous.
Yeah, she was but yeah, I always I always have had like I said, I've always been a shipper. I always loved relationships in TV shows. I love seeing, when I see chemistry, I gravitate towards that towards
There's relationships that you really root for.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't work out. It's or sometimes they take too freaking long. But like I said, like Kirk and Rand, that was one that never really worked out.
Right.
But I liked it. But like Mulder and Scully took forever.
Yeah.
But like I said, T'Pol and Archer, I thought that would have worked. Remember that one episode where they had the alternate future?
Yeah,
they always do the alternate future.
But I got
she
to
had been
thinking,
taking care of them, but she had fallen in love with him.
Yeah, she had kind of. It was one-sided though.
Yeah, because he couldn't remember one day to the next.
Exactly, but she did become a caretaker, and
Right.
it developed into love. It didn't start out that way.
But the thing is that they did that before they did anything with Tucker, so I latched onto that because I liked Blaylock and Bakula's chemistry together.
Sure.
And I liked it even when they were just like if they were on a planet and they were interacting. I just like the actors interplay with each other.
That's important. You need that kind of chemistry in order for you to care about the characters.
Yeah, and if characters, if you force a couple down my throat and I don't see the chemistry,
yeah,
I got it. It becomes god awful to watch sometimes.
Right?
Because Smallville, I did not think that Clark and Lana had as much chemistry as Clark and Chloe did.
The problem was not the actors, though. The problem was that there was so much for so long, the development between Clark and Lana, that you never saw. You know, when Lois came along, it was like the heck, and they didn't put the appropriate development into it to
Yeah.
get you to really accept it.
Yeah,
know?
but and the thing is, they developed this secondary the secondary role. The role of Chloe was originally supposed to be an African American girl, but
That could have worked. Sure.
Allison Mack came in, knocked it out of the park. She got the role, and what struck them right off was the chemistry between her and Welling.
Yeah,
Off,
there was.
To me,
there
was off the charts.
There definitely was some chemistry there. Oh, she was so cute.
Oh, she was. I met her. I met her at Philadelphia Wizard World, and she was. Oh, she was just so nice and sweet. God, I feel so bad for her. I hope her life turns to a better.
Well, once she gets out of prison, maybe.
Yeah, that's sad. I just, I feel so bad for her because, like I said, I met her the one time, and she was nothing but sweet. And you get the wrong person, they play on the wrong instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to the relationships in Star Trek, so Spock,
Right.
We know from Next Generation that he got married, apparently to a human. We don't know who, and then she died, and then he married a second wife.
Spock did?
Yes. I always.
Why do I not know this?
It was just a line of dialogue. That's why.
Oh.
It was a line of dialogue and easily missed and easily forgotten. In my mind, I always believed that he and Nurse Chapel got together. I don't know that that's true. That's certainly not established in canon.
Well, actually, Dr. Chapel, because she got her
MD. Yes, you're right. Just like it's never Admiral Kirk, it's always Captain Kirk.
Yeah. Well, you can take the name. You can take the rank of captain if you are captain of a ship. They call you captain,
right? Because it's the position, not the rank.
Right.
You still hold the rank of admiral, but the position of admiral.
I always liked Chapel and Spock. I always thought that would have been a nice pairing.
I would have loved to have seen the development of that relationship.
She was a gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
I
also love the way she played that.
I liked her as number one too, with the dark hair.
Right. Right.
Number one on the cage. And I also like the one the other girl, the other choice from the ship that they gave him, the one with the little ponytail. The lieutenant, she was like a lieutenant or something. Can't remember what her name was.
I'm not sure what.
Yeah, but remember when they got her the two women down there?
Oh, I know who you mean. Yes.
Yeah,
she was in the cage and she never continued on after that.
Yeah.
I know who you mean.
She wasn't on anything else.
But what I loved about the way Majel Barrett played Nurse Chapel and her really unrequited love for Spock was, you got the impression that she was crushing on him, and he, obviously caught up in his Vulcanness, did not reciprocate. I would have loved to have seen how he evolved, because we've seen him evolve as a character, how he especially I think what really sums up his development is in Star Trek 6, the line he has to Valeris. He says something about logic and logic. Logic is just the beginning of wisdom, Valeris. And I love that. It's like, yes, now you get it. All this time you've been Mr. Perfect Vulcan, ignore all the emotions, and you've come to realize, you know what? That's all a big fake.
Okay, getting some feedback here on shippers. D.R. Isley, please tell me that your shipping is more logical than Raylo. my stance on Raylo, I like them as a duality. Not as a thing, and not as a romantic couple.
Oh my God, they do not belong as a romantic couple.
But I like their interaction. I like the way the actors played off each other.
Oh my gosh, it is a freaking abusive relationship that should never ever happen.
Yeah, but that's part of the. I'm saying that's part
Don't
of it,
give
though.
me any shades of gray crap here.
No. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not talking in a romantic state. It's like Kirk and Spock. I love that relationship. And you can add the threesome. You add Bones in there. It is a relationship where
Dude, you might want to rephrase that.
No, but like, see, that's where a lot of people get off the rails and start. Yes, there are some romantic relationships, but I'm saying I view them more as having that antagonistic relationship is still a relationship. It's not a healthy relationship until the end of the movie, basically, when he finally turns. But them playing off of each other is a good
I don't
acting.
know. I didn't see the last movie, so I
See,
can't
there you
even
go.
comment.
So you can't comment on it. But no, they're not. No, not as a romantic couple. No. After the first Star Wars, I was all about Luke and Leia, but that went south real fast for a few years later.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I refuse to accept anything from the Disney canon. I am heir to the Empire. That was the sequel trilogy. Screw
Yeah.
Disney.
Now you were okay. Skipper Kenner saying, "Are you sure Spock was married?" I remember Picard mentioning Sarek was married to a second wife named Perrin, who was Terran.
You know what? You might be right. I'm drunk.
what-
I don't remember clearly.
Like I said, I do remember that Sarek had married another human, but not. I never heard Spock getting married.
You're right. I might be confused.
Owen Lister saying, "No offense, but I believe shippers are made to fandom existence because they don't care about characters or story."
Wait a minute.
Guess with whom? And that's I disagree with that. There are some who are like that, but I care about the characters. But
Wait a minute.
you find a couple to root for.
Picard had said that he was at the wedding of Sarek's son. Now, unless he was talking about Sybok, he was talking about Spock.
Okay,
So-
when was that?
It was in the episode Sarek.
Huh.
And I think he mentions it in his captain's log when he's talking about Sarek and he establishes how he knew Sarek. I met him at the wedding of his son.
Yeah.
And that I don't remember clearly. Remember, I'm doing my best based on fuzzy memories and a fuzzy head right now. So
right. Sir Torn Clegane, thank you. Tell you what, Lester, I'm also not a fan of the ones who think relationships can only be romantic and don't take into account the other relationship dynamics.
right, for crying out loud,
that's what I'm talking about, and that's what
men and women can have friendships, for crying out loud. Right. Just ask Nanette. She knows that I don't really have any now, but in the past I have had female friends that she has never been the slightest bit jealous of.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and
huh? Okay, yes, I am Facebook friends with my ex-girlfriend, but I don't have any communication with her at all.
Yeah.
That's not real friendship, but
yeah, I got my ex on Facebook too.
She's still agreeing with me over here, so we'll go with it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, I like I said, you find a couple. Sometimes there's a romantic period you go from.
I think Janet Zeal is having a stroke.
Those dualities of people.
Janet Zeal says Ray and Emo Ren and Miang and Abel from Xenogears, for heaven's sake. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I really don't know either.
What is Xenogears and who is Miang and Abel? I'm lost.
That's probably like an anime or something.
Oh,
something I don't know about. But yeah, I want to get back to Picard though, because I do want to get this. I know you haven't seen episode 3. Picard.
Give me a reason. Give me a reason to spend the bandwidth on the damn thing.
Hugh the Borg is there.
I met him. Nanette and I met him at a convention when he was Jonathan Del Arco. Was that his name?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was so nice. He was a kid at the time. He
Yeah.
was
He's a little older now.
he had no idea what was going on. He was amazed by this whole idea of people being fans of his character, and he's signing autographs and he's like, this is amazing.
Yeah. There's that. We finally get to the ship that's going to be taking Picard and his thrown together crew. I think the next episode we meet that like tall guy who looks like a samurai, Romulan, or I don't know if he's a Romulan or Vulcan. I think he's Romulan.
I know that there's like communities out there that are into Romulans the way I'm into Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
I should like lurk on their pages and see what they're saying about the show because they're getting a lot of Romulan lore.
Did you know the woman that played the Romulan that was with Picard?
The Irish one, yeah.
Yeah, you know where she's what else she's done?
No idea.
Remember on Doctor Who, the one who ran the Temple of the Silence, the Church of, or whatever. The one with like the thing around the eyes and who had to overcome being the Dalek.
Yes.
Yeah, that was her.
You're kidding me.
Orla Brady. It's the same actress. I was shocked.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know. It's like, oh, that's her. The one that, declared the siege of Trenzalore or whatever it was.
Let me tell you something.
The doctor shall not utter his name.
Let me tell you something. When she says something about, I died screaming your name.
Yeah.
And then there's that pause. She goes, I died. Oh my. That was some serious storytelling. Yeah. Let me tell you.
That was some creepy stuff, man.
Right?
Yeah, that's still one of my favorite episodes. That final. I still think Matt Smith had the best regeneration of all of them. I think he gave the best little goodbye performance. Although I thought Capaldi's was really strong too.
I don't know. David Tennant did a pretty damn good job too, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had a great goodbye, like he had a great long goodbye. But I'm talking like the moments before it happened, like the little speech. All he said, "I don't want to go," and that was really all he said.
Well, I'll tell you what really made his regeneration was Wilf. Him.
Yeah, he was.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Of all the companions, and I consider him a companion.
Yep, he flew. He was in the target.
He is at the top of my list of favorite companions.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He would be my male favorite, and Sarah Jane Smith is my female favorite.
Yeah,
sorry, I like all the ones that have come after her, but Sarah Jane Smith is always going to be my favorite, and I'm always going to get misty-eyed when I think about her, so I'm going to stop talking Doctor Who right now. Done. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's the one who played. I can't remember her name, Astra or something. I forget what her name was, but the same actress. But yeah, I mean, I can easily say, Star Trek Picard has a lot of flaws. It is slow. Its continuity is kind of kaplooey because it takes Discovery into account, which
I will give another tiny little Benny to Picard, because it does seem that they are trying to, whereas Discovery was panned by the fans as being, all pew pew and no drama.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to give us more drama, but they're giving us so much drama. It's like,
not a lot of pew pew.
It's all exposition and no action at all.
They're getting there. I think they felt like I said they had Romulans attacked the chateau. and
Of course
try,
they did.
yeah, tried to get that, but thankfully his two assistants were were well trained and were able to take the guys out. Yeah, they want the other one. She's the destroyer. You don't know what she is, so we don't know what is going on.
I heard about the whole Destroyer of Worlds thing, and the first thing I thought of is, okay, they're stealing storylines from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's wonderful.
Yeah, well, there's always been somebody's always been the Destroyer of Worlds, but
well, the Doctor is the Destroyer of Worlds.
Yeah, like I said, they've set up enough of a story that I'm interested in the storyline, even though I know that it's got a lot of continuity flaws. It's got a lot of, like I said, it does take a slow track to get there. Don't like the use of the foul language, and the former first officer, the African American woman that he's hooked up.
Yeah.
She seems to be hooked on a drug or something that she keeps. And I'm like, okay, so drug problems are still a problem in the 24th century. 24th century.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Again, I don't care about any of those things, but the Fetty fans are pissed about that shit. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm again, loose lips. I'm really trying to, because I am on your channel. I'm not on my own, so I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, but
the whole strong language thing on the show is really pissing off the fans, even fans that otherwise would not care about language. They're going, but you are so flying in the face of established continuity in regards to that language. It's really pissing people off.
Because I think the worst word they ever had on Star Trek before was when Data went, "Oh shit." I think that was the worst.
And you can totally forgive that because you know that Data is capable of language knowledge that goes farther back than anyone is actually using.
And he has that knowledge, and he has that emotion chip, so he's feeling it.
When you go beyond Data to just the humans, I think they've said damn.
Yeah. And it's and like, of course, Kirk going, "Oh, yeah, double dumbass to you too," which I thought.
Well, and that's totally in keeping, because you get the impression that "damn" is a curse that is probably still used in their time, because that's the first thing he thinks of when he's trying to invent one in the past. Double dumbass on you.
Yeah.
Damn is clearly something, an ass apparently are words that they use,
right?
But they don't use them commonly. You know, I don't know. The whole thing just and all of the
it's like us using like a Shakespearean
and the whole idea of the dude this and dude that. It's like, you know, do you understand you're writing for the 25th century?
Yeah, you should try to keep it a little more, I don't know if generic's the right word, but more
not dated,
generalized. Yeah, very like timeless. That, you know, you're always going to have certain, but like, damn, I think is fine.
And yes, Chrissy Kitty, if we were going to do some sort of a hierarchy, I would say shit is worse than damn. Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, then the F word is the worst of all. They've used that twice.
And how exactly does a Romulan have an Irish accent?
Like I said, from the Highlands of Romulus.
Oh, come on. I mean, seriously, you know, the cheeky feckers. Really? You don't have any Romulan swear words you can use? Klingons have a whole bunch of swear words. If you take the Klingon language course, the first Klingon words you learn are swear words.
I will say this show could have been a great opportunity to flesh out the Romulans, not only their language but more their culture and stuff like that.
No,
Because
clearly they're all Irish and
but
millennial.
it's a mystery, but it's a mystery show. I don't know if you can call it action yet, but it has some action, but not to the thing. It's more of a thinking show. It's a patient. You gotta you know it's a slow burning show. I just hope that the dramatic tension is what is really what's keeping me. Plus, like I said, it's got just enough that it doesn't turn me off. The bad stuff doesn't turn me off. It's not enough to turn me off of the show yet. But so I'm just interested. I really want to know where they're going with it. But no, it's not a great show by any means, but it's watchable. But like I said, I have a very low standards. So people I can watch a lot of bizarre, bad things and find some enjoyment in it. I mean, for God's sake, I watched the 3rd season of Simrata.
Before
which I will actually say is better than the first 2.
Before we get too far into it, I do want to address Owen Lister. He's asking if I could list out some of those Klingon curse words. I don't want to get off topic because I totally could do that for you. Maybe I'll do a video separately talking about Klingon cursing. If you were to go to the Klingon language annual big meetings where you really can immerse yourself in the Klingon language, one night they have an event where it's literally Klingon cursing, like warfare. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you one Klingon curse. Okay. My favorite. It's a classic. Chutvat. And that is a general invective. It's a general swear that you would say, let's just say, it's the kind of thing you would say in place of F it. It doesn't literally translate, but you're really angry if you say that word.
Yeah.
So
DR is a bike. Grab Thor's hammer.
Right. But going back to what you were saying, Al, Big Al. I should call you Big Al because
whichever.
I know. I get what you say. This is clearly what you stand for, is this idea of, if you like it, enjoy it, but you do, in full compassion for your friends, you really do need to try to see it from our point of view. Someone like Nanette and myself, who live and breathe this fandom. These matters of canon are very important to us, and it would not be excessive to say, like, on the level of religion, there is a truth that one believes, and this is what tends to bind a fandom together. And when some new stuff comes out that treats that as, well, screw it, I don't care what you want, we're going to do what we want to do. And you see that with the modern Disney Star Wars, and you see it with the Kurtzman Star Trek, and you see it with all these different fandoms. It really makes you angry. I know. I respect, very hurtful.
I respect people's strong feelings and their, how passionately their love of a show is, to the point of like complete and utter disappointment. And I can respect that. But on the other hand, I would still say, if someone's watching something and they see the faults in it, they know the faults are there, but there are aspects of it that they are enjoying to an extent. I would like to think that there are people that would respect that person enough to at least respect their right to enjoy what they can from it. Does that make? I don't know if I put that right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, this I guess what I'm trying to
Like I
get
said,
across.
it's not costing me anything to watch the show. No one's getting they're not getting any money.
But you have to okay. And that's why a lot of people give you a lot of latitude on that, because the problem is that and the reason that so many people, let's say on my side of the argument, get so upset with people that are like, well, I liked it. Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
The reason it makes people angry is you are not you, Al, but you people that are going to see this movie are supporting it and therefore sending the message, yeah, keep making this crap that's ruining the fandom from our point of view. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like it's also difficult to know. Like I said, I wouldn't know what Picard is about on a personal level, um, unless I actually experienced it. Uh, and unlike Discovery, because of some of the things I saw, some of the designs, some of the story concepts, it went beyond the fact I just wasn't interested in seeing that world or engaging in that world. But what I heard from Picard, it's like, well, yeah, there's some one. It's a character I'm familiar with, so right there, and there's an interest in it. And like I said, there's been three. So I gave it you give it a chance, and so far there's been nothing that makes me want to go bye bye.
Yeah.
And I would like to, I would like I said, it helps that I know it makes sense that I'm not paying for it, and that helps in that.
Yeah.
But I am also going to be one because I like I said, a prime example. I remember when the film Willow came out, and I was excited to see it, and I sat and I watched. I think it was Gene Shalit, the big guy with the big hair and mustache,
Yep.
and he was doing a review of it, and he hated the movie. And he was describing this like, well, this happens, and this happens. Everything he talked about just made me want to see the movie more.
Yeah.
And I'm
I've been
like,
there.
how the hell is that a bad review? Sounds awesome, And I would say, and I loved it. So but I really, like I said, and I know this is like, well, I've got to see it. If I have my interest, if I am interested in watching something on whatever level, I would at least like the the leeway to at least partake of it.
So what you're saying about it, not supporting it and so forth, is very much the same thing that you know, I obviously am not paying for for CBS All Access and whatnot.
Now, if I looked at CBS All Access and they have like tons of really cool stuff, it might be worth it. Big Bang. If they, I don't know if they would have Big Bang Theory, but
I think they do.
Well,
But see,
like something like that. But I have
two
access to that.
the two shows on CBS that Nanette and I love, we already have on DVD.
Mhm.
That's Big Bang Theory and NCIS.
Right.
We're, there's no reason for us to subscribe to CBS.
And a lot of people are like that. But I'm just saying that I always feel in a very, very weird, like the proverbial rock and hard place, because I know I know like the professor and the fan man, two of my best friends, hate the concept of Picard and Star Wars and several other things. And I feel bad because I don't feel I have the passion for the show, but I have a much how do I want to put it? It's getting late, so I'm kind of
Well, I'm right there with you, Al, because I mean, you know that a couple weeks ago I was on the stream and I was getting roasted for saying anything positive about Picard.
yeah.
And I think the one that hurt the most probably was Ishii being in the in the stream,
Yeah.
and he was ripping on me. It's like, oh, and then the following week when I said, you know what, I'm kind of walking this back, and unfortunately Ishii's not here to hear it, but I totally get what you're saying. I
Yeah.
do feel like, and I shared something in our little group chat. I shared one of the videos, the most recent video by Anti-Trekker. I think Anti-Trekker tends to be, of all the YouTubers that I listen to, the so-called Fandom Menace. He doesn't even consider himself Fandom Menace. He talks about the Fandom Menace and says, you know what, those people are all negative just for negativity's sake. And he kind of calls it out. And I see it. It's true. And sometimes I see that. Forgive me if you're listening to this later on in the re-listen, fan man, but you kind of fall into this where you have a knee-jerk reaction to be negative about it before you even are open to it. You listen purposely to certain YouTubers that will confirm what you already believe, and you're not even willing to be open-minded about it. I tried to be open-minded about Picard, and I tried to give it a chance. And in the first episode, I was like, okay, I'm seeing some things that are positive here, and all the negative things that everyone's saying could very well turn around in the next couple episodes as the story develops.
Yeah,
sadly, what I found was that it turned out to be squarely directly related to Star Trek Discovery, same universe, same lack of interest in abiding by original canon. Sorry, I can no longer accept it as part of original classic next gen, timeline.
Right, but you can enjoy it for what it is.
Nope. No, I cannot.
I can
because if it's not the Star Trek timeline that I love, it's not Star Trek to me.
I can still, but I understand that, but I'm saying I can still sit down and watch a show and ignore the title and just watch Patrick Stewart play an old guy who's trying to solve a mystery.
Yeah, I would be able to do that if he didn't call himself, Picard and was,
but
in a different setting. But
you get what I'm saying.
I do get what you're saying.
There's an aspect to the story that I'm still drawn to. Despite, yes, I know it's a Discovery. That is a terrible thing.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm getting at is I cannot enjoy a show when you are purposely spitting in my face and insulting me. That's what I feel.
That's what you feel.
Is.
See, yeah. I don't have that feel. I don't feel like they're spitting in my face yet. I'll say that. Yes, they are making continuity errors of epic proportion, but as far as sitting down and watching a sci-fi show and watching a story advance, it's taking time to advance, but I find myself intrigued by the storyline. I'm just gravitating towards
that
storyline a bit.
I will say that as much as I hate Discovery, I have watched to see what comes of the Klingon lore, even though I think they spit in the face of the Klingons. I need to know what's happening there because I need to be a completist and I need to know.
And that's very much in my mentality too. I don't feel complete if I don't watch it. Even if it's like all its issues, I still feel like I need to do it because I'd be empty if I didn't.
Now, I may very well piss you off by saying this, but this is why I had no problem walking away from Doctor Who, because there was nothing in, the most recent 2 seasons of Doctor Who, well, except maybe the last couple episodes, that tied it to any of the lore of the previous Doctor Who. So it was like, well, whether they happen or not doesn't really matter to me. I don't have to consider them continuity because they don't even touch any of the previous lore.
I'm telling you one thing about Doctor Who. I'm loving this season, except for the one episode, that early episode. You know the one I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
It was
specify.
It was very. It was it was very. Mankind's destroying the Earth thing.
Was that the one where they?
Thing.
Was
where
that
where humanity had turned into
the Russian aliens? You find out that they're in Russia.
Russian aliens?
Yeah, they're on this planet, this vacation planet that turns out to actually be Earth in the future, and it's actually in Russia. And the aliens are all mutated humans.
Yeah.
That
was heavy-handed. That was very heavy-handed, I'll say. But the first 2 episodes and the reintroduction of the Master, I like the guy they have playing the Master. And then of course we got to see Jack Harkness back. Captain Jack is back in action.
And it's supposed to throw Alan Memberberry and you're all set.
It helps. I like it. I like a nice Memberberry every now and then.
Full of sugar helps the medicine go down.
There you go. I will take my medicine as long as I find it tastes fine. And so far it tastes fine. And but what I always have a problem, but the one thing I think that I have an issue with, and I hope anybody else would, I don't think anyone has the right to tell me that I am an inferior human being or am inferior in any way because I like a certain TV show or a movie. It's like someone looking down. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would be like ripping on you for liking Scrapple.
Yeah, I mean it's dumb to think somebody's bad because they happen to like. I don't know what's a stupid movie that
The Room.
Yeah, if you're a big fan of The Room and you like that movie and you thought it was compelling and everything like that, I have no idea what this means, but I don't think you should be looked down upon. Okay. And
there's one thing I think we should talk about, Al.
Scorned because you happen to like it.
Melissa Harris brought it up, and I think we should talk about it since we're on Doctor Who. The new storyline where they brought in Ruth. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I'm interested.
I gotta be honest. Melissa Harris doesn't like the idea. Melissa, don't make too many assumptions about who Ruth is. She is a doctor. We don't know which doctor.
Right.
I didn't mean to make a pun.
We know that she doesn't.
Right. We don't know if she's prior to Hartnell. We don't know if they're rewriting the doctor's history. We don't know any of that right now.
Right.
But I'll tell you this. If it turned out that Jodie Whittaker's doctor is not really the doctor and Ruth really is, I would like that so much more because I liked Ruth's doctor.
They're both the doctor.
Way more than I liked Jodie Whittaker's doctor.
One of the theories that I like offhand is that she is a doctor in between Troughton and Pertwee.
Yeah, I've heard them say that, but they've never really canonized that. So unless they do that,
because because 2 was really in deep with the Time Lords and the Gallifrey, and it continued with Pertwee, and of course Ruth is running and was doing all this stuff. Maybe this was a period, but of course it doesn't explain the regeneration thing and why why 13 doesn't remember
Well,
being Ruth.
see, here's the thing: the whole idea.
See, this is why I watch, because I want to figure out. I want to
the
see what
whole
happens.
idea of doctors in between 2 and 3. Here's the fan theory, and it's not really a fan theory. It's actually expanded universe, because it's been in the audios and whatnot. The idea was that the whole regeneration from 2 to 3 was a punishment for the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That actually is canon. That's established in storyline. And in that in between time, because you don't actually see him go from one to the other, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this, but let's just accept that there is some wiggle room for there to be some storylines that take place between 2 and 3. The idea was that he was forced by the Time Lords to do some, missions for them, work for them as a kind of indentured servant in a separate entity, a separate set of regenerations, or a separate Doctor incarnation that didn't count against his 13 incarnations. So if that is the case, if they wanted to canonize that, it's entirely possible that Ruth could be that Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that points to it is that she had the classic
TARDIS
interior, and the classic TARDIS exterior also.
Right.
Now, of course, in universe, in the real world, why that was is because they were just reusing the ones that they'd used in Adventures in Time and that special, and
right,
whatnot.
But I will say I really like the actress playing her.
I do too.
I thought she was
played her
intriguing
so well.
I would watch a series,
right?
But I'm going to say this: I like Jodie Whittaker. I don't have anything against Jodie Whittaker. I enjoy her Doctor.
I feel like she's been really bland. And admittedly, it could just be the characterization. It has less to do with her as an actress and more to do with what she's been given so far.
True, yeah.
But there's been nothing that she's been given so far that has really screamed, this is the Doctor,
Yeah, but I like her quirky nature. I think it's fun, and she is, to me, very Doctor-like. So I'm on board with it. But I did like Ruth. I liked her outfit. I liked how God, I love that old TARDIS look. I love the round things. What are the round
That's
things?
what Nanette says too. She keeps quoting that. Oh, the round things. I don't know what they are, but I love the round things.
Yeah. But yeah, so man, we've been on here for 2.5 hours of rambling.
Hey, you had the option of doing it on my channel to save your hours, so don't give me any grief about it.
I as of today, I'm at 0. I was at 0 hours, so now I'm going to be at 2.5. And with us splitting the movies and office hours back, I should be fine. There should be no issue.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd like get ready to get out of here. I just want to thank everybody who's been with us this long.
Yeah, let me get a little
to listen to us rambling.
I want to get a little bit sappy, but and it's not just the alcohol talking. It's been a rough week, and I've really wanted to say this. I've been looking forward to, hanging out. I actually didn't realize that we would be doing this kind of a thing. I was really looking forward more to tomorrow night. But guys, the 20 or so of you that came and joined us, I really loved hanging out with you guys. I love seeing you guys in the stream. you know, when you guys interact with us on Facebook and apparently Instagram now that I know that I have an Instagram account and a bunch of y'all are following me, I'm
Oh,
so
look,
encouraged by that.
I wonder if I follow you. I might. I don't know.
You do. You
I do.
do. I started following you today because I saw that you were already following me.
Yeah, I just post weird pictures. I don't even really.
I don't even have anything
Something
posted
personal.
yet there, but I think I might start posting some stuff there now just because
Yeah.
why not? But
yeah,
this-
you're right. I love hanging out.
and I
with
get why
everybody,
you do
and,
the afternoon thing that you do
yeah, it's
because it is a way to connect with some people that
fun. Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if we'll ever meet any of y'all, but you know, it really is great to be able to share a little tiny little community online like this.
Agent Boomer saying Galaxy to rewatch for Valentine's Day. That's funny.
What is that? What's
Galaxy?
Galaxina?
Oh, Galaxina, Dorothy Stratton space movie.
I have no idea who that is.
You know, Dorothy Stratton was a Playboy bunny who was
I'm sold.
tragically
Okay.
was tragically killed by her boyfriend.
Oh.
But yeah, she was also on Buck Rogers. Yeah, she's a hottie. Yeah,
What was she on Buck Rogers?
She played the perfect human, genetic human. When they were on the cruise liner.
I didn't know she was in Playboy.
Oh yeah, Dorothy Stratton. Look her up, buddy.
Okay.
But yeah, just like I said, just a couple notes. Tomorrow night on Troy Pacelli's channel, we will be doing a rewatch of the John Carpenter classic horror. Oh my God, it is so creepy. The Thing.
I don't think Nanette's ever seen The Thing. I'm not
really?
sure. I don't think so. She's not really into those kinds of movies.
I want her mic'd up because I want to hear her reaction.
Really?
To this movie. Yeah, it'd be cool because this
I'll ask
movie's
her.
creepy. It's up to her.
If she's willing.
It's up to her. I'm just
Would you
saying.
be willing to be on mic because he wants to hear your reactions to the movie? She's like, sure. She's real fired up about it.
And of course, as far as I know, next Tuesday will be office hours with the prof. Next Thursday will be the Heir to the Empire, the second to the last.
Oh, okay, second.
Yeah, there's two chunks left of Heir to the Empire, and next Friday, God knows. I don't know if the family is doing anything next Friday. We'll wait and see. If not, we might do something. I don't know. And then Saturday the 15th, we'll be rewatching it'll be the Kirk Douglas Memorial rewatch, The Vikings. And I was going to do Clash of the Titans. I'll save Clash of the Titans for another day. And we'll, of course, let Troy release the Kraken on that show, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And then he'll just destroy Argos. But that might be the next one I go to after this. But I loved Kirk Douglas, especially, and I love this movie, so it'll be my little. I'm doing it for me as much as everybody else. I'm glad you guys could join us this evening. Like I said, please, if you're in fandom, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy, and don't hold them with any kind of lesser respect. No one deserves contempt for liking a television show or a movie. Just respect their right to like. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night. I got to make sure I'm on the right channel, the right window, so I can end this when I can. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you. I was going to say tomorrow, but technically it is later tonight for the rewatch of The Thing. Bye, everyone.
Take care.